All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Lynx Ransomware.
Okay.
This is a really nasty piece of malware. And, it's been making headlines lately. And I know we've talked about it a little bit before, but we wanted to really kind of get into the nitty-gritty of, what makes it talk
Yeah.
and how we can protect ourselves from it.
Yeah, for sure.
We've heard about this surge in attacks, like a 40% increase in the past year alone.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's hitting everyone, manufacturers, hospitals, financial institutions.
Yeah.
It's causing some serious, disruptions, like that global logistics firm that was basically paralyzed for a whole week,
Yeah.
costing them millions of dollars.
It's scary stuff.
So understanding how Lynx works and how to defend against it is absolutely crucial in today's world.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I guess, let's start with, what makes Lynx so dangerous.
Okay, so one of the things that makes Lynx so scary is its dual-layer encryption strategy.
Okay.
It uses AES 256 and RSA 2048, which are incredibly strong encryption algorithms. And, it's not just about making your data unreadable.
Right.
It's about making decryption without the key computationally, virtually impossible.
Right.
So imagine trying to crack a safe with two locks,
Yeah.
each having billions of possible combinations.
Like a double whammy.
Yeah, it's a nightmare scenario.
Wow. So it's not just about locking you out. It's about making it pretty much impossible to get back in without paying the ransom.
Yeah, basically.
And another thing that I thought was really scary about Lynx is that, it doesn't just target, documents and databases.
Right.
It goes after virtual machine images, too.
Oh, yeah.
Which means it can cripple entire systems,
For sure.
not just individual files.
Entire networks can go down in a flash.
It's like a digital plague.
Pretty much.
And it's designed for speed and stealth, too, right? I
Yeah.
mean, how does it do that?
So it can actually encrypt portions of large files, which makes the process much faster.
Oh, wow.
And it uses polymorphic code, so it's constantly changing its appearance to evade antivirus software.
So it's like a chameleon.
It's like a shapeshifter, yeah. And it can even employ time-delayed execution.
Oh, wow.
So it basically lies dormant in the system like a ticking time bomb waiting to go off.
So it's like it gets in and then it just sits there and waits for the right moment to strike.
Pretty much.
So, okay, we've established that Lynx is like a digital ninja, fast, stealthy, and incredibly dangerous.
Definitely.
But how does it actually spread so rapidly? I mean, we've heard it compared to wildfire, right?
Yeah.
It jumps from system to system so quickly. How does it do that?
Well, one of the primary ways that it spreads is through phishing emails.
Okay.
You know those cleverly disguised messages that trick you into clicking on malicious links or opening infected attachments?
Right.
They might look like they're coming from a trusted source, like your bank or a colleague.
Yeah.
But, one wrong click can unleash chaos.
So it's not just about being, careful about what websites you visit. It's about being very careful about what emails you open and what links you click on.
Yeah, for sure. Email is a huge attack vector.
And I'm guessing those unpatched vulnerabilities, those little software cracks that we all tend to, overlook sometimes.
Yeah.
Are those like open doors for Lynx?
Absolutely. It's like leaving a key under the welcome mat.
Right.
Lynx exploits these vulnerabilities, often using tools like Mimikatz to steal credentials right out of your computer's memory.
Oh, wow.
So you might have the strongest passwords in the world,
Yeah.
but Mimikatz bypasses all of that by directly accessing your credentials from the system.
So even with good password practices, you're still vulnerable if you haven't patched your systems.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's like having a high security door with a broken lock.
Pretty much.
And it gets worse, right? Because Lynx doesn't just lock you out of your data, it steals sensitive information too.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's talk about that.
So that's the double extortion tactic.
Oh, boy.
And it's a complete game changer. They don't just encrypt your data and hold it hostage. They also exfiltrate it.
So they take it,
They take
they
it.
steal it.
They steal your valuable information, things like financial records, customer data, trade secrets,
Right.
and then they threaten to release this information publicly unless you pay up.
It's like they're breaking into your house, stealing your valuables, and then demanding payment to give you back the empty house.
Yeah, it's a pretty brutal tactic.
Wow. And the ransom demands could be huge, right?
Yeah.
Reaching millions of dollars,
Oh, yeah.
payable in cryptocurrencies that are difficult to trace.
It's all designed to make it as difficult as possible for law enforcement to track them down.
So it's like a digital kidnapping.
Pretty much.
And they make it very clear that they mean business, right?
Oh, yeah.
They actually provide proof of the data that they've stolen.
Yeah, sometimes they even provide screenshots
Wow.
just to show you that they're serious.
So it's not just an empty threat.
No, they mean it.
They have your data.
They have it, and they're not afraid to use it.
Wow. So, I mean, imagine, sensitive client information, internal memos, financial records all being leaked online.
Yeah,
The reputational damage alone could be crippling for a business.
absolutely. It could destroy a company overnight.
So let's actually unpack how they get in. Like, what are the most common ways that Lynx infiltrates a system?
Okay, so I'd say one of the most prevalent attack vectors is phishing and social engineering.
Okay.
And we kind of touched on this earlier, but these phishing emails can be incredibly convincing.
Yeah.
They can spoof trusted entities like banks, government agencies, even colleagues,
Right.
and they often create a sense of urgency.
Uh-huh.
Like your account has been compromised or urgent invoice payment required,
Right.
all to trick you into acting without thinking.
So it's not just about avoiding suspicious links. It's about being aware of those psychological tactics that they use to prey on our, instinct to react quickly.
Exactly. It's like a digital con game.
Wow. And then there's spear phishing, which I've heard about, which is like even more targeted.
Yeah, spear phishing is really scary.
Right.
They actually target specific individuals
Yeah.
with highly personalized content, making the email seem even more legitimate.
So it's like a tailor-made trap.
Yeah, it's very sophisticated stuff.
Wow. Okay, so phishing is one way. And what about those unpatched vulnerabilities that we were talking about?
Okay, so this is where staying up to date on your software is absolutely critical.
Okay.
Attackers are constantly scanning for systems with known vulnerabilities,
Right.
and they're using exploit kits that automate this process.
So they're not like manually doing this.
No, it's all automated.
Wow.
So it's like having a master key that can unlock a whole range of systems.
So if you're not patching regularly, you're essentially leaving the door wide open for links to walk right in.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's a free-for-all.
And these vulnerabilities, they allow attackers to bypass authentication mechanisms, right?
Yes.
And deliver the ransomware payload.
Yeah,
It's like having a state-of-the-art security system with a gaping hole in the fence.
exactly. It's all about those weak points.
Right, and it's not just about patching operating systems, right?
No, it's about patching everything.
Right.
All software applications have vulnerabilities.
What about compromised credentials? I mean, we all have so many passwords to manage these days.
Oh yeah, passwords are a nightmare.
They are.
And brute force attacks are still surprisingly effective.
Really?
Yeah, they just systematically tried different password combinations until they crack the code.
So it's just a matter of time?
Pretty much, if your password isn't strong enough, they will eventually get in.
And then there's credential stuffing, right where they use leaked credentials from other data breaches.
Oh yeah, that's a big problem.
It's scary how much of our information is already out there on the dark web.
Yeah, it's crazy. And people reuse passwords all the time.
Yeah,
So if one account gets compromised, the attackers can try those same credentials on other platforms
right.
and potentially gain access to sensitive systems.
So it's like a domino effect.
Yeah, one breach can lead to a cascade of breaches.
Okay, so we've got phishing, unpatched vulnerabilities, compromised credentials. What other sneaky tactics should we be aware of?
Well, another common method is malicious website redirects and drive-by downloads.
Oh, okay.
So you might be browsing a seemingly legitimate website,
Yeah.
but hidden scripts are lurking, ready to exploit vulnerabilities in your browser or outdated plugins.
It's like those old pop-up ads that used to plague the internet, but way more sophisticated and dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. And these scripts can automatically download the ransomware payload without you even clicking anything.
Wow.
And sometimes attackers even compromise legitimate websites.
What?
Yeah, they inject malicious code to deliver the payload.
So it's like a digital Trojan horse.
Pretty much.
Wow. So
Right.
even browsing the webs could be a minefield if you're not careful.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You got to be vigilant.
So it's really important to keep your browser and plugins up to date
Absolutely.
and be cautious about the websites that you visit.
Yeah, trust your instincts. If something seems off, navigate away.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly.
And finally, let's talk about third-party and supply chain risks, because I know businesses are increasingly interconnected these days.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge concern.
Right.
So attackers are targeting trusted partners or vendors with access to an organization's systems.
Right.
Because these third parties often have some level of privileged access.
Yep.
They can bypass traditional security defenses by exploiting that existing trust.
It's like that old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
Except in this case, the enemy is exploiting your friend to get to you.
Exactly. It's a very clever tactic.
And it can be really hard to protect account because you're essentially trusting these third parties with your security.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of faith in their security practices.
Right. So imagine compromised software updates.
Oh, yeah.
Or malicious code hidden within legitimate applications distributed through the supply chain.
That's a nightmare scenario.
It is.
And it's becoming increasingly common.
So organizations need to be incredibly diligent about vetting their third-party partners, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And implementing strict access controls.
For sure.
It's not enough to just trust a company. You have to verify that their security practices are up to par.
Yeah, trust but verify.
Exactly. And for further information about how we can help you address this, contact us at sales@stonefly.com or visit our website at www.stonefly.com.
We can definitely help you navigate these complex issues.
And speaking of complex issues, let's talk about some real-world examples of just how devastating Lynx ransomware can be.
Okay.
Let's dive into some recent attacks that have made headlines.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, give us the rundown. Who has fallen victim to Lynx recently?
Okay, so let's start with Zamzows Inc. They're a family-owned chain of stores in Idaho.
Okay.
And they were hit with a Lynx attack in February of 2025.
Oh, wow.
And the attackers didn't just encrypt their data,
Right.
they also exfiltrated sensitive information, and they provided screenshots as proof.
Oh, wow. So they were really trying to turn up the heat.
Yeah, they were showing that they meant business.
So not only were they locked out of their systems, but their sensitive data was out in the open.
Yeah, it was a double whammy.
Ouch.
And then there's Codad.
Okay.
They're a large retail chain in Italy.
All right.
And they were hit in January of 2025.
Okay.
And while they kind of downplayed the incident,
Uh-huh.
saying that only a small amount of non-sensitive data was compromised, internal documents and some employee information did end up leaked online.
So it just goes to show that even what they might consider a minor data breach can still have significant consequences.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it also highlights the importance of transparency.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when companies learn to downplay these incidents, it often just makes things worse.
It erodes trust,
Exactly.
which is really hard to rebuild.
And that same month, Hunter, Top & Fisher, Anli LLC,
Okay,
they're a U.S.-based law firm specializing in corporate and securities law.
right.
They were also targeted by Lynx,
Oh, wow.
and sensitive client information was compromised, which is a particularly concerning breach of trust.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with confidential legal matters.
Yeah, talk about a nightmare scenario.
Yeah, it's really bad.
When you're dealing with sensitive client data, a breach like that can be absolutely devastating.
Absolutely. It could ruin reputations and lead to lawsuits.
Yeah. And then between July and November of 2024, we saw Lynx targeting multiple utility companies across the United States,
Oh, wow.
impacting the energy, oil, and gas sectors.
That's scary.
It is. And these attacks caused operational disruptions and exposed vulnerabilities in critical infrastructure.
So this is what worries me the most.
Me too.
The potential for Lynx to disrupt essential services.
Right. The things that we all rely on.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
impact goes far beyond just financial loss.
It could affect our daily lives.
Right.
And even public safety.
This is like a national security issue at this point.
It really is.
So, okay, we've talked about the targets. Now let's talk about the broader impact of a Lynx attack,
Okay.
because the cost goes far beyond just the ransom payment.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So let's break it down. What are the long-term consequences that businesses face after a Lynx attack?
Okay, well, first, there's the operational downtime,
Okay.
which can be crippling. Lynx targets critical data and systems
Right.
and basically brings operations to a screeching halt.
It's like a digital heart attack.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's not just the initial downtime, right?
Right.
The recovery process can be incredibly lengthy and complex.
Absolutely. It takes time to rebuild systems, restore data, and get back up to speed.
And during that time, productivity plummets, revenue is lost,
Yeah.
and the costs just keep piling up.
The meter's running.
And there's no guarantee that paying the ransom will actually solve the problem.
That's right. Some victims have paid the ransom only to receive faulty or incomplete decryption keys.
So they're still locked out.
Yeah, they're basically stuck.
It's a risky gamble with no guarantees.
Yeah, it's a tough decision to make.
So beyond the ransom, what other costs should businesses be prepared for?
Okay, well, there are the costs associated with incident response,
Okay.
forensic investigations, system restoration,
Right.
and potential legal fees and fines.
Right, especially if sensitive customer data was involved.
Exactly.
And industries with strict data protection regulations like healthcare and finance,
Yeah.
they face even harsher penalties.
Oh, yeah, they could be in big trouble.
So it's a financial nightmare
It really is.
that can have long-lasting consequences.
And we can't forget about the reputational damage.
Right, which can be even more devastating.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A data breach erodes trust with customers, partners, and investors.
Yeah, and it can take years to rebuild that trust.
Yeah, and some businesses never fully recover.
It's like a stain on their reputation that they can never quite get out.
Yeah, it's a tough road back.
And for further information about the appliances that we make to help mitigate these risks, contact us at sales@stonefly.com or visit our website at www.stonefly.com.
We can definitely help you protect your data.
So it's clear that Lynx Ransomware is a formidable adversary,
Definitely.
and the consequences of an attack can be catastrophic.
There's no doubt about it.
But the good news is that we're not defenseless.
That's right.
There are effective strategy and solutions available to combat this threat.
Absolutely. We have the tools and the knowledge to fight back.
Okay, so let's shift gears and talk solutions.
All right.
What are the most effective ways to fight back against links?
Okay, well, it all starts with a layered security approach.
Okay.
And the first layer is empowering your employees with security awareness training.
Okay, so we're talking about educating employees about phishing tactics,
Yes.
social engineering,
Uh-huh.
and best practices for handling sensitive data.
Exactly.
So regular training programs,
Yes.
simulated phishing exercises,
Uh-huh.
and incident reporting mechanisms can create a more proactive security culture.
It's all about building that culture of awareness.
It's about turning employees into cybersecurity advocates,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
just potential victims.
They're your first line of defense.
Absolutely. And what about our technological defenses? What can we do to harden our systems against links?
Okay, so the next layer is all about patching and updating software diligently.
Okay,
We need to have a robust patch management process
right.
to ensure that security updates are applied promptly,
Okay,
closing those vulnerabilities that Lynx exploits.
right. But patching everything manually in a large organization seems like an impossible task.
Yeah, you're right. Automation is key here.
Okay,
Automated vulnerability scans and elimination of outdated protocols can make a huge difference.
so it's like having a digital security patrol constantly monitoring your systems for weaknesses.
Exactly. They're working 24/7 to keep you safe.
So patching and updating diligently, got it. What else can we do to strengthen our defenses?
Okay, controlling access is crucial.
Okay,
We need to enforce the principle of least privilege,
okay.
where users only have access to the information and systems they absolutely need to do their jobs.
Right. No more giving everyone admin rights just for convenience.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
Right. So it's about compartmentalizing access to limit the potential damage an attacker can inflict.
Exactly. You're containing the blast radius.
And multi-factor authentication, MFA,
Yes,
is another crucial layer.
absolutely.
It requires users to verify their identity through multiple means,
Right.
making it much harder for attackers to gain unauthorized access.
Even if they have stolen a password.
So even if one security measure fails, you have backup layers in place.
Yeah, it's like having multiple locks on your door.
But how do we know if an attack is already underway?
Okay, so proactive threat detection is essential.
Okay,
We need advanced endpoint protection that goes beyond traditional antivirus software
right.
and utilizes real-time threat detection and behavioral analytics
Okay.
to identify and stop attacks in their tracks.
So it's not just about blocking known threats. It's about recognizing suspicious activity that might indicate an emerging attack.
Exactly. You need to be able to spot those anomalies.
And security information and event management systems, SIEM systems.
Yeah.
They can play a vital role here, right?
Absolutely. They act as a central nervous system for your security,
Okay.
correlating logs and events from various sources
Right.
to provide a comprehensive view of network activity.
So it's like having a security command center
Yeah,
that allows you to see the big picture and spot anomalies that might otherwise go unnoticed.
exactly. You need that bird's eye view.
But what happens if, despite all these measures, Lynx still manages to breach our defenses and encrypt our data?
Okay.
What's our fallback plan?
That's where resilient data backup strategies come in.
Okay.
Having a solid backup and disaster recovery plan is absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
We need to go beyond traditional backups
Okay.
and implement air-gapped backups,
Right.
which are physically isolated from the network,
Okay.
and immutable backups,
Right.
which use worm storage,
Okay.
meaning data can't be altered or deleted once it's written.
So it's like having a secure vault where your most important data is safe from ransomware's clutches.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if the main system is compromised.
It's your last line of defense.
And of course, regular testing of these backups is essential
Absolutely.
to make sure that they're working as expected
Right.
and that you can actually recover your data quickly and efficiently if an attack does occur.
It's like having fire drills for your data.
Right. Make sure everyone knows what to do
Yeah,
and that the escape routes are clear.
exactly. You need to be prepared.
But even with the best defenses, there's always a chance that something could slip through.
That's true.
What happens if we do get hit with ransomware?
Okay, well, that's where a well-defined incident response plan comes in.
Okay.
It outlines the steps to take in case of an attack,
Right.
including roles, communication protocols, and recovery procedures.
So it's like having a playbook
Yeah,
for dealing with the ransomware attack.
exactly.
So you're not caught off guard
Right.
and scrambling the heat of the moment.
You need to know what to do.
And regular drills are key to ensuring that everyone knows what to do
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
and can respond quickly and effectively.
Absolutely. You need to be able to act fast.
So you've mentioned a lot of different security layers and strategies.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we can do to further strengthen our defenses against links?
Yes, there's one more crucial element to consider.
Okay.
Zero Trust Architecture, ZTA.
Okay, this sounds intriguing. Tell us more about Zero Trust.
Okay, so Zero Trust is a security framework that assumes no trust by default.
Okay.
It means that every user and device, regardless of location,
Okay.
whether they're inside or outside the network,
Right.
needs to be verified
Okay.
before accessing any resources.
So it's like having a security checkpoint at every single door in your building, constantly checking IDs and credentials.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So zero trust goes beyond basic authentication.
Right.
It incorporates microsegmentation,
Okay.
which divides the network into smaller, isolated segments,
Right.
limiting the damage an attacker can inflict even if they gain a foothold.
So it's like containing a fire within one room, preventing it from spreading throughout the entire building.
Yep, that's the idea.
And another key element of zero trust is real-time user behavior analytics.
Oh, yeah, that's crucial.
Okay, so it's like having a security AI
Uh-huh.
constantly monitoring activity,
Yeah,
looking for anomalies and deviations from normal patterns
exactly.
if something seems off.
Boom, red flag.
So it's not just about building walls and checkpoints.
Right.
It's about having intelligent systems that can detect suspicious behavior
Yeah.
and respond quickly.
It's like having a security guard who's actually paying attention.
Right, not just sleeping on the job.
Exactly. You need someone who's proactive.
It sounds like a really powerful approach.
It is.
But I imagine it can be quite complex to implement,
It can be, yeah.
especially for large organizations with complex IT infrastructures.
Yeah, it requires a shift in mindset
Uh-huh.
and a comprehensive approach to security.
But it's becoming increasingly essential in today's threat landscape.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's the future of security.
So you've given us a lot to think about.
I hope so.
I'm curious from your perspective, what are some of the key takeaways that listeners should prioritize when it comes to protecting their data against ransomware like Lynx?
Okay, so I would say the three most important things are proactive planning,
Okay.
layered security,
Uh-huh.
and reliable recovery.
Okay, so let's break those down.
Okay.
Starting with proactive planning.
Okay, so proactive planning means not waiting for an attack to happen before you act.
Right.
It means assessing your risks,
Okay.
developing a comprehensive security strategy,
Uh-huh.
and implementing the necessary tools and controls
Right.
before you need them.
So it's about being prepared, not paranoid.
Exactly. You want to be proactive, not reactive.
Okay, what about layered security?
Okay, so layered security means not relying on a single solution.
Right.
It's about implementing multiple layers of defense,
Okay.
like strong passwords,
Uh-huh.
multi-factor authentication,
Right.
endpoint protection,
Okay.
network monitoring, intrusion detection systems.
So it's like building a fortress with multiple walls and defenses.
Exactly. You want to make it as difficult as possible for attackers to penetrate.
And reliable recovery.
Okay, reliable recovery means having a robust backup and disaster recovery plan in place
Okay.
and ensuring that it's tested and updated regularly.
Right.
You need to know that you can recover your data quickly and efficiently if the worst happens.
So it's not just about backing up your data. It's about knowing that you can actually get it back
Yeah,
when you need it most.
exactly. It's about having a plan B.
And the ransomware landscape is constantly changing, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a constantly evolving threat.
And attackers are always looking for new ways to exploit vulnerabilities.
That's right. They're always one step ahead.
So what are some of the emerging trends that listeners should be aware of?
Okay, well, one concerning trend is the rise of ransomware as a service.
RAS.
Yeah, so it's essentially a subscription-based model
Okay.
where cybercriminals develop and rent out ransomware tools and infrastructure
Right.
to other attackers.
So it's like a dark web toolkit for aspiring cybercriminals?
Yeah, pretty much. It lowers the barrier to entry for cybercrime,
Right.
making it easier for less skilled attackers to launch sophisticated attacks.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's a worrying trend.
And we're also seeing an increase in the sophistication of ransomware attacks in general, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're using techniques like double extortion,
Uh-huh.
targeting specific industries,
Right.
employing more advanced evasion techniques to bypass security measures.
Yeah, they're constantly upping their game.
So it's not just about random attacks anymore.
Right.
It's about targeted strategic attacks.
Yeah,
Designed to inflict maximum damage and extract the highest possible ransom.
they're in it for the money.
And another trend that we need to watch closely is the rise of attacks targeting critical infrastructure,
Yeah, that's a big one.
like healthcare systems,
Uh-huh.
energy grids, transportation networks.
It's scary stuff.
It is because these attacks have the potential to cause widespread disruption
Yeah.
and even threaten public safety.
It's a nightmare scenario.
It sounds like the stakes are getting higher and higher.
They definitely are.
So how can organizations stay ahead of these evolving threats?
Well, it all comes back to those key principles.
Okay,
Proactive planning, layered security, and reliable recovery.
right.
Organizations need to stay informed about the latest threats and vulnerabilities,
Uh-huh.
adapt their security strategies accordingly,
Right.
and invest in robust data protection solutions
Right.
that can withstand even the most sophisticated attacks.
So it's about staying vigilant, staying informed, and always being one step ahead.
Exactly. You can't afford to be complacent.
And speaking of robust data protection solutions, this is where we believe Stonefly can play a vital role.
Absolutely.
We're dedicated to providing organizations with the tools and expertise they need to build a strong defense against ransomware and other cyber threats.
It's our mission to protect your data.
So let's delve into how we can help listeners protect their data
Okay,
and ensure business continuity.
let's do it.
Okay, so our Stone Fusion operating system
Okay.
provides a unified platform for managing and protecting your data.
Okay.
It offers advanced security features like data encryption,
Uh-huh.
access controls,
Right.
and immutable snapshots.
These features are crucial for protecting against ransomware.
So data encryption scrambles your data,
Right.
making it unreadable even if attackers gain access.
It's like putting your data in a secret code.
Access controls limit who can see and modify sensitive information,
Yeah.
reducing the blast radius of an attack.
So even if one part of the system is compromised, the damage is contained.
Right, and immutable snapshots are like time capsules for your data,
Uh-huh.
allowing you to roll back to a clean state if an attack occurs.
It's like having a rewind button for your data.
So it's like having multiple layers of protection,
Yeah,
ensuring that your data is safeguarded at every level.
that's the goal.
But we go beyond software.
Okay.
We offer purpose-built appliances designed to provide comprehensive backup and disaster recovery.
Okay, tell me more.
One of our flagship solutions is the Stonefly DR365 series.
Okay.
This all-in-one appliance provides air-gapped backups,
Nice.
immutable storage,
Uh-huh.
and even integrated ransomware detection and prevention tools.
Wow. So it's like having a fortress for your data.
Exactly. It's designed to without even the most determined attacks.
Very cool.
We offer different DR365 models to cater to diverse needs and budgets,
Okay.
including options for integration with popular backup software like Veeam,
Right.
and universal models that support various protocols and environments.
So there's a DR365 for everyone.
Pretty much.
That's awesome.
So regardless of your existing infrastructure or backup preferences, we have a DR365 appliance that can seamlessly integrate and bolster your defenses.
It's like a plug-and-play solution for ransomware protection.
And for organizations embracing hybrid cloud strategies,
Yeah.
we offer seamless integration with leading cloud providers like AWS and Azure,
Okay.
extending your data protection and recovery capabilities to the cloud.
So you can have the best of both worlds.
You can replicate your data to the cloud for secure offsite recovery,
Right.
or use our cloud backup gateways to back up directly to the cloud,
Okay.
leveraging the scalability and cost-effectiveness of cloud storage.
It's a very flexible solution.
And managing all of this doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay, good.
Our appliances are designed to be user-friendly,
All right.
with intuitive interfaces and centralized management tools.
So you don't need a PhD in computer science to use them.
Exactly. And we also provide expert technical support
Okay.
and professional services to guide you through the implementation and ongoing management of your data protection strategy.
So you're not in this alone.
We're here to help every step of the way.
That's what I like to hear.
So we're not just providing technology,
Right.
we're providing a partnership working alongside our clients
Yeah,
to help them navigate the complexities of data security
absolutely.
and build a truly resilient defense against ransomware.
It's a team effort.
For further information about the appliances we build to protect your data, contact us at sales@stonefly.com or visit our website at www.stonefly.com.
We'd love to hear from you.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to emphasize that data security is not a one-time event.
Right.
It's an ongoing journey.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. It's about constantly evaluating your risks,
Yeah.
adapting your defenses,
Uh-huh.
and staying one step ahead of the evolving threat landscape.
You got to stay vigilant.
Absolutely, you can't afford to be complacent.
That's right.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone.
We're here to help.
We're here to help every step of the way.
That's right. We're your partners in data security.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure where to start, reach out to us.
Don't hesitate to contact us.
We're passionate about data security
You are.
and dedicated to providing the solutions and support you need to protect your most valuable asset,
Your data.
your data. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay secure.